Welcome to MindSwitch Books. Today we are diving deep into a book that will completely change how you think about motivation. It's called Drive by Daniel Pink, and it reveals a surprising, almost shocking truth, that nearly everything we believe about what drives us is flat out wrong.
I mean, think about it. What if dangling a big, juicy reward in front of someone actually made them worse at a task? It sounds totally backwards, right? Well, let's put that idea to the test with a classic puzzle that uncovers something pretty incredible about how our brains really work.
Okay, so this little puzzle is called the candle problem. It's a really famous experiment that's been around since the 1930s, and it's designed to measure our creative problem-solving skills. It looks pretty simple on the surface, but trust me, there's a really clever twist. So, picture this. You're in a room, and someone hands you a candle, a box of tacks, and some matches. Your goal? Attach the candle to the wall in a way that the wax won't drip down onto the table. Now, what do most people do? They immediately grab a tack and try to pin the candle straight to the wall. And, well, you can probably guess how that turns out. It's a non-starter.
To solve this, you need to have a little aha moment. You've got to break free from something psychologists call functional fixedness. It's basically a mental block where we only see an object for its most obvious use. So, the key here isn't the tacks or the candle, it's the box. You have to stop seeing it as just a container for the tacks and realize it can also be a little shelf for the candle.
Okay, but here's where the story gets really interesting. A scientist named Sam Glucksberg decided to run this experiment with a twist. He split people into two groups. He told Group A, hey, we're just timing you to get an average solve time. But for Group B, he raised the stakes. He said, whoever solves this the fastest gets a cash prize. You'd think that would fire people up, right? A little money on the line should make them work faster and smarter. That's Motivation 101.
Yeah, you'd be wrong. In fact, you'd be spectacularly wrong. The group that was offered money took, on average, 3.5 minutes longer to solve the puzzle. Get that? The reward, the very thing that was supposed to sharpen their thinking and speed them up, actually just clouded their minds and slowed them down. This result is just mind-blowing. It completely flies in the face of everything we think we know about motivation.
So what this crazy puzzle shows us is that there's a massive bug, a critical flaw in our entire approach to motivation. In the book, Daniel Pink calls this outdated approach Motivation 2.0. It's like the default operating system our schools and businesses have been running on for decades.
You know this system well. It's the classic carrot and stick approach. It's built on a super simple, almost robotic assumption about people. If you reward the good stuff, you'll get more of it. And if you punish the bad stuff, you'll get less of it. It basically treats us like donkeys, just responding to external rewards and punishments.
And this, right here, is the absolute heart of the problem. That old operating system, the carrot and stick, it actually worked okay for the kinds of jobs we had in the 20th century. You know, routine, straightforward assembly line work, tasks where you just follow a set of instructions. But it completely falls apart. It crashes when you apply it to the kind of work most of us do today. Creative, conceptual, problem-solving work, just like the candle problem.
But wait, it gets even worse. It's not just that the system doesn't work well anymore. Decades of research have shown that it often backfires spectacularly. In fact, as Pink points out, this carrot and stick approach comes with what he calls 7 deadly flaws. These kinds of rewards, the whole if you do this, then you'll get that deal, they have a really dark side. They can literally kill your natural internal motivation. They can make you perform worse, totally crush your creativity, and even push people toward cheating, taking shortcuts, and only thinking about the immediate prize. It's pretty serious stuff. And hey, if you're finding this as fascinating as I do me a quick favor and hit that like button and share this with someone who needs to hear it. It really helps us out.
All right, let's double-click on that idea of diminishing performance because it's so counterintuitive. There was this amazing study done by some top-tier economists, folks from MIT and Carnegie Mellon. They went to rural India and had people perform a bunch of different tasks, games that required creativity, focus, and motor skills, and they offered 3 different levels of rewards to see what would happen. And the results were, frankly, staggering. The group that was offered a medium-sized reward, they did no better than the group offered a small one. Okay, interesting. But get this, the group offered the largest reward, we're talking the equivalent of 5 months' salary for them, they performed the worst of all. The high stakes, the pressure of that massive reward, it totally choked their performance. More money actually led to worse results. Wild, right?
Okay, so if the old carrot and stick model is broken, if it's not suited for the work we do today, then what's the alternative? Well, we need a serious upgrade. We need to move to what Pink calls Motivation 3.0.
This is a new operating system that runs on our third drive, that deep internal human desire to direct our own lives, to learn and create new things, and to make the world a little better.
This new system is all about fostering what he calls type I behavior. Think of type I as standing for intrinsic. This is behavior that's fueled from the inside, by the satisfaction of the work itself, the challenge, the purpose. It's the polar opposite of type X behavior, which is extrinsic, meaning it's all about chasing those external rewards like money, trophies, or status.
And you know the best part about all this? The really great news? Type I behavior isn't something you're just born with. It's something you can build. It's a choice, a mindset you can cultivate. And in the long run, people with type I motivation almost always outperform the type X folks. Plus, they're just happier and more fulfilled. It's a total win-win.
So, the big question is, how do we actually do this? How do we build this new system for ourselves and for others? Well, Motivation 3.0 is powered by 3 simple but incredibly powerful core elements. When you get these 3 things right, you create an environment where that type I behavior can really take root and grow. And here they are: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Autonomy is that basic human need to be in the driver's seat of our own lives. Mastery is that deep-down urge to get better and better at stuff that we care about. And purpose? That's the feeling that what we're doing matters, that it's connected to something bigger than just ourselves. These 3 things, they are the secret sauce, the building blocks of true, lasting motivation.
Let's just dig into autonomy for a second, because it's so fundamental. And look, autonomy doesn't mean chaos or no management. It's about giving people meaningful choice over 4 key areas of their work, what Pink calls the 4 T's: their task, what they work on, their time, when they do it, their technique, how they do it, and their team, who they do it with. When you have that kind of freedom, that's when you really feel empowered to pursue mastery.
And this isn't just some feel-good theory, by the way. This is happening in the real world. You look at a company like Atlassian, the software giant. They give their developers something called 20% time, where they can work on any project they want. That's pure autonomy. And what happens? They invent their most innovative products during that time. It allows them to sharpen their skills, that's mastery, and connect their passion projects to the company's bigger mission, that's purpose. See how it all connects?
So really, the whole thing boils down to this quote from the book: control leads to compliance, autonomy leads to engagement. The old way, Motivation 2.0, was all about control. And what do you get from control? You get people who just do what they're told, compliance. But the new way, Motivation 3.0, is built on trusting people. It's about believing that if you give them freedom, autonomy, they will naturally strive to get better, mastery, and want to contribute to something meaningful, purpose. And that, my friends, is how you get real engagement.
Honestly, the insights in this book are a total game changer, and we've really only scratched the surface today. This leaves us with a really important question, not about your boss or your company, but about you. How can you start upgrading your own personal operating system? What's one small way you can bring a little more autonomy, a little more mastery, or a little more purpose into your work and your life starting right now? I really hope this summary sparks something for you. To get the full, detailed roadmap for this new way of thinking, you absolutely have to read Drive by Daniel Pink. Thank you so much for watching MindSwitch Books. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more deep dives like this, and be sure to click the link in the description below to grab your own copy of the book. It might just be the most important thing you do for your motivation all year. Thanks again, and see you next time.